All right. Okay, I'm back. Now, this is a continuation. We started this on Shabbat. And so I want to revisit because the brother started reading Isaiah 34. So let's go there and let's see what, because he is using Isaiah 34 to say Esau is a white man. You can't say Esau is a white man by using Isaiah or any of the judgments on Esau, because none of them say Esau is ruling the world at the end of the day. Okay, let's just visit it. Okay, here we go.
This also tells you, Isaiah 34:1, come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. So we're going to prophesy to the nations, right? They're going to see, everybody's going to hear this truth, okay? Everybody's going to hear about it. The other nations going to find out who they are. Our people going to find out they're the Israelites.
Okay, so no, he's wrong there. That's not about people know who they are. That's telling you the judgment. That's what that is about. The nations are being judged for how that ties with Joel 3. He knows that. So that's not talking about them knowing who we are, knowing who they are. That's talking about the nations being judged, right? They're being judged for the way they handled the heritage, Yah's heritage, which is us, which is Israel. Okay, let's continue.
Indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. Everybody going to be made aware of the judgment to come, whether they believe it or not. And his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them.
So, no, I disagree, because the judgment is on the nations, not on the individual people, right? Yah's judging the nations, right? So when you talk about nation, you talk about the heads of nations. They're being judged, right? And the nations have a military, right? The common people, they're just sheep. They don't know. A lot of them fall just following whatever they're taught, right? Okay, the government are going to be judged. Let's continue.
He had delivered them to the slaughter. The slaughter is called World War III or Armageddon. Okay.
So once again, everybody's not going to be in the battle of Armageddon. Just the people, just the military, right? I'm not going to be fighting no battle unless the Most High draft me and train me. So, the civilians don't battle. I mean, you know that, brother. So, I don't know. I'm not reading into what you're saying, but I just want to be clear in case somebody is getting that. Because, see, people think you say Edom, all white people, whether you call them Edom or Japhet, all white people are not going to be destroyed. Just like all other nations, right? The nations are going to be left, right? The judgment is on the heads and the military, because the military is following the enforcement of the heads. So they have to be judged as well. All right. It's like the United States Army military goes to battle, right? There's going to be some slaughter there, right? Okay.
It goes on. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And I explained this all in the first video, right? In the first response, going into nuclear war, the heavens being rolled together as a scroll. That's the nuclear mushroom cloud. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. This right here is the Edomites getting judgment from the Lord.
Okay, so now I don't disagree with Esau, but you can't use that to say Esau is ruling in the last days and that those are the people, so-called Caucasians, are Esau, because you are doing a disservice to the text. The text is just simply saying it didn't identify who Esau or Edom was. It just said that there was going to be a judgment on Idumea, right? Now, let me do this real quick here. Hold on a second. Now, what I want to do is I want to look at the Brenton or the Septuagint version. So let's go to the Septuagint, right? And we're going to start right here. Draw near, you nations, hearken, you princes, let the earth hear, and they that are in it, the world, and the people that are therein. For the wrath of Yah is upon all nations. That's right. So it's the wrath. And his anger upon the number of them to destroy them and to give them up to slaughter. Right. Now, your brother that lives next to you or in your area, because I saw you, brother, I saw your video, and you out there on the beachfront. I know you live near some Gentiles somewhere that you call Edomites. The judgment's not coming on them. It's coming on the heads, brother. The heads, right? And now if they happen to join alliance with the heads and they get caught in the crossfire, then they're going to get hit too, right? Civilians, kind of like this. The rules of engagement. If you in war, if you in battle, and you're not supposed to kill civilians, but if a civilian grabs a gun to fight back at you, you take them out, right? So that's the only reason why civilians will get hit if they jumped in the middle of the battle, right? So it's talking about nations, brother. Okay, let's go back in here. And he said, their slain shall be cast forth, and their corpse and their ill savor shall come up, and the mountains shall be made wet with their blood. So we're talking about that. Now that connects with Joel 3, where Joel 3 is talking about he's going to bring all nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat. He's not going to bring that Annie Joe that lived down the street to she ain't going to fight. So to say that the Esau, if you want to say Esau, the white man, going to be destroyed, Most High doesn't get no pleasure out of destroying some little helpless person who just happened to be a Gentile that you call Esau. He's not going to just wipe them out just because they're Esau. That makes no sense, right? It's the heads, it's the governments that support the leaders, those figureheads. That's who's being judged, right? The people are going to be left. Okay, now let's go back in here. My sword has been made drunk in the heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and with judgment upon the people doomed to destruction. Okay, so now, why Idumea, right? First off, we need to be clear. It didn't say America, Idumea. Okay, it didn't say Europe, right? It didn't say Rome, right? It said Idumea. Why did it say Idumea? Where is Idumea at? Idumea is still in the land where we're going back to. So that's what he's talking about, brother. Now, when you go to Joel chapter 3, all the prophets, like I keep saying, all the prophets are saying the same thing. Nobody's saying one thing and somebody's saying something different, right? It's the same land, okay? And then you stop reading. So if you keep reading, you'll see where I don't know if you intentionally did it or whether you just don't know. So let's look at it. So he says, my sword has been made. Okay, the sword of Yah, verse 6. The sword of Yah is filled with blood. It is glutted with fat, with the blood of goats, lambs, fats, goats, rams of Yah. Sacrifice has a sacrifice in Basra and great slaughter in Idumea. Okay. That's where the slaughter is. Not America, not Rome, not Europe, in Idumea, the same land. Idumea didn't shift land and go somewhere else. The Most High judgment's not on Idumea in Europe. It's the land that's there, right? Okay. Now, so you still have Edomites, right, that are in charge of the governments there, right? I mean, when I went to Israel, I seen you got the people that work in the military. They work in cahoots with the government, right? With the heads, right? So that's who the judgment's coming on, right? Not just the common people, right? It's coming on the heads. All right. Now, you continue. It says what? He said, the mighty ones shall fall with them, and the rams and the bulls, and the land shall be soaked with blood, and shall be filled with their fat, right? And it says, for it is the day of judgment of Yah, and the year of recompense of Zion in judgment, right? And the valleys shall be turned into pitch, and her land into sulfur, and the land shall be as pitch burning night and day, right? So now you can keep reading. This is talking about judgment on the land, right? We read in Ezekiel, Yechezkel 39, right? And let's just kind of reiterate it again. Okay, here we go. Son of man, prophesy against Gog, and say unto them, thus saith Yah, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and Ros, prince of Moshech and Tubal. I will assemble thee and guide thee, raise thee up on the extremity of the north, and I will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel. And I will destroy the bow out of the left hand, and thy arrows out of thy right hand, and I will cast thee down on the mountains of Israel. And thou shalt be belong to thee, shall fall, and the nations that are with thee shall be given to the multitudes of birds, every fowl, and I have given thee to all the wild beasts of the field to be devoured. Right? He says here, then shall fall on the face, thou shalt fall on the face of the field, for I have spoken it, says Yah. I will send fire upon Gog, and the islands shall be securely inhabited, and they shall know that I am Yah. And my Kodesh name shall be known in the midst of my people Israel, and my Kodesh name shall no more be profane, and the nations shall know that I am Yah, the Kodesh one in Israel. So this Lord stuff that y'all got here and all of that, right? You still calling on pagan deity, brother. But you want to say Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, then in the other breath you're going to say the Lord and Christ. I don't know if you say Christ, but I know the gathering, Ricard and them say Christ. I don't know if you say Christ or not, but you still got them pagan names on your lips, brother. And you talking about me. You don't hear me calling the Most High Lord and Christ and God, okay? Now, so that's the same thing. That's the same thing, right? Now I'm gonna show you something else. All this is connecting, right? The prophets are not saying separate things. Let's check this out here. Okay, so let's look at Jeremiah 25, right? Jeremiah 25, right? Okay. Starting at verse 15, it says, for thus says Yah, the Elohim of Israel, unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all nations, here goes all nations again, to whom I send thee to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad, because the sword shall I send among them. Then took I the cup at Yah's hand, and made all the nations to drink unto whom Yah had sent me. Okay. Yahweh. All right. To wit, Jerusalem and the cities of Yehuda and the kings thereof and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and astonishment and hissing and curse, as it is this day. Right? Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants and his princes and all his people. Now who are they? And the mingled people and the kings of the land of Uz, kings of the land of Philistines, Ashkelon, Azar, Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyre, and the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan and Tema and Buz, and all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, and the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Shishak shall drink after them. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, thus says Yah of hosts, Yah of Israel, drink ye, and be drunken, and spew, and fall, and rise no more, because the sword which I will send among you, it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, thus says Yah of hosts, you shall certainly drink. For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and should ye be utterly punished, you shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon the inhabitants of the earth, says Yah of hosts. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, Yah shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from the Kodesh habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth, not just Esau. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for Yah hath a controversy with who? The nations. He will judge with all flesh. Isn't that we read in Joel 3? He will give them that are wicked to the sword, and says Yah. Thus says Yah of hosts, behold, the evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from coasts of the earth. And the slain of Yah shall be in that day one from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. How about that? Howl, you shepherds, and cry. Wallow yourselves in ashes, you principal of the flock. For the days of your slaughter and of your dispersions are accomplished, and you shall fall like a pleasant vessel. And the shepherds shall have no way to flee, nor the principal of the flock to escape. The voice of the cry of the shepherds and the howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard, for Yah hath spoiled their pastures, right? And the peaceful nations are cut down because of the fierce anger of Yah. For he hath forsaken his covenant as the lion, for their land is desolate because of the fierceness of the oppressor and because of his fierce anger. So that's talking about judgment that's going to come among all those people, not just Esau, the nations. It's all one and the same, right? So you can't make Esau be the Europeans, because they have their judgment, and as a nation, they are Gog and Magog and all these other things. Let's go back up here. Look at some of these names here, brother. You know the stuff. I'm sure you the way you do precepts. I'm sure you done read this before. Don't play games, man. And stop with the name calling, man. Don't be a dodo brain your whole life, right? Nobody gonna listen to you. You keep calling people names and you using all kinds of abusive language, right? Okay, all right. The most I'm gonna do is call you a dodo brain. Okay, I'm not gonna keep going back and forth and doing that, right? Okay, I'm not gonna stoop to that stupidity, right? All right. Now, wait a minute.
Amen. Amen.
Listen, tell him. That's right. Give him some clap. That's right. You can do that. You're not gonna do that. You gotta stop doing that, brother. Now, so once again, I said when you go back in here, you see these nations, right? So talk about Yah's wrath coming upon who? Pharaoh. Who? Where? So we got people that's here, right? Right? You got Egypt. You got people. The other nations, we don't know what their paternal lineage is, right? We know they up in Egypt, right? We know we can't make everybody be Ishmael and everybody be Arab, everybody be Esau, because we don't know their heritage. That's why the Most High left a general label and said what? He said what? Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, whoever that, because Pharaoh's a title, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, his princes, and all his people. Right? The mingled people, the kings of us, right? And the kings of the land of the Philistines. Philistines, you got Philistines, you got Ascalon, you got Azar there, you got Ekron there, you got Ashdod, you got Edom in the mix, you got Moab, and you got Ammon in the mix. So, no. Why do you have China and Japan way over there in the mix? No, They're right there in the land, brother. It's all about the land of promise. It had nothing to do with China and Japan and all and Europe and all that. It's all about the land that the Most High promised to us, right? And you got a combination. You have a mixture of people there that's in that land that the Most High gonna judge, right? Combination of people, not just one stock, right? You can't say it's just Esau. It's all of them. We're showing you right here. It's all these people in that land. They're not all Edomites. All of them gonna be judged, right? Mixture of people. Then he said, look what he says here. Go over. He said, Uz, kings of lands of Philistine, Ashkelon, Azar, Ekron, the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, Moab, children of Ammon, kings, all the kings of Tyrus, right? The kings of Zidon, right? The kings of the Isles, right? Dedan, right? Tema, Buz. Okay, who's Dedan, right? Let's look at Genesis, table nations, right? Okay. All right. So Dedan is what? He's the son. Look at this here. Dedan, he's the son of Cush. So you got Cush, right? Seba, Hava, Sabta, Rama, Sabteka, and Rama, Sheba, and Dedan right there, right? So all these people are going to be in on the judgment, right? So you got all these nations, and they're not one nation. See, we keep making Esau. We mad as hell at the Caucasians. We want to make them be the scapegoat. But Yah has a controversy. If you go to Isaiah 60, he says that I have a controversy with the nations, not just Esau. With the nations, brother. All the nations had a hand. Esau played a part in, he led the alliance, right? Yes, he did mix the seed, and some of the people that are in the global elite do have a connection to Esau, but not all Caucasians in Europe. No, you can't do that. You said that in one of your videos, right? So now, what I want to do is, okay, so now I want to go to Deuteronomy 30, and I want to show you what the first prophet, well, not the first one, because Abraham prophesied too. Okay, all right, Enoch. Okay, all right, one of the first prophets. Okay, I'll say the first prophet when Israel was a nation, right? I'll say it like that. The first prophet that prophesied when Israel was a nation, because there were other prophets before him, but this one here, right? Deuteronomy 30, right? Okay, so when we go and we see that Deuteronomy 30, this is what Shemaiah, the world calls Moses. Shemaiah, we call him Shemaiah based on the book of Jasher. You know that, right? All right, so let's go to 30. He says, it shall come to pass when all these things come upon thee, the blessing and curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations where Yah have driven thee, and shall return to Yah and obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, you and your children with all your heart and with all your soul, that then Yah will turn your captivity, have compassion upon you, and will return and gather thee from the nations whether Yah have scattered thee. Interesting thing when you see this phrase here, will return, right? Let's look at the Brenton's version right quick. See what the Brenton's version says on verse 3. All right. Then it says, then Yah shall heal thine iniquities and shall pity thee and shall again gather thee from all the nations among which Yah has scattered thee. Okay, so he says he will again gather thee. Okay. That's even better, because that kind of connects you to Isaiah 11 and 11, right? Okay. So I want to show you here. So we talking about, we go back to 30 again. We're talking about here, this is Brenton. So let's just stick with Brenton for a minute. Okay. Now, he says, he talks about, if thy dispersion be from one end of the heaven to the other, then will Yah gather thee, and there Yah will take thee. And Yah will bring thee from thence unto the land which your fathers inherited, and you shall inherit it, and he will do you good and multiply you above your fathers. And Yah shall purge your heart and the heart of the seed to love Yah with all your heart and with all your soul. And Yah will put these curses, here it is right here, upon your enemies and upon those that hate you, who have persecuted you, right? And you shall return and hearken to the voice of Yah and keep his commandments, all that I charge you this day. And Yah shall bless thee in every good work of thine hands, in the offspring of thy body, and in the offspring of thy cattle, the fruits of that land, because Yah will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers. Right. So that's it, right? So now you can read the rest of that, but I wanted to point that out where Yah said he gonna put the curses on the people. Now, what are the curses that he said? Those that persecuted you, right? He says he gonna put these curses on your enemies, right? That what he said predated what the prophet Joel said, right? The prophet Joel said that he gonna take their sons, and sell them to the Yehuda, and going to sell them. Yehuda's going to sell them to the Sabians, right? A people far off, right? So we see the same thing. So all these prophets are saying the same. Now let's go to real quick. Let's go to Isaiah 11 and 11, right? All these prophets, they think there's no different. And all the prophecies on Esau, none of them says he's a Caucasian. It just says he's going to be judged. And none of those prophecies says that he's ruled the world. So you can't use it because you're saying these prophecies saying he's ruled the world. Those prophecies don't say. We're going to look at each one of them just for your hearing, right? And then I'm going to run out. This will be the end of part 2 of the live stream. And then we'll do the other video, okay? Now, I promised 2 videos, okay? Now, we're going to stick with the Prince's version. If we need to look at the King James version, we'll do that too. But we're going to stick with the Prince's version, right? So we're going to go to 11:11, right? 11:11 says, it shall be in that day that Yah shall again show his hand to be zealous for the remnant that is left of the people, which shall be left by the Assyrians, right? Because you got Israelites there. And that from Egypt, you got some Israelites there. And from what? Babylon, you got some Israelites there. And from where? Ethiopia, you got some Israelites there. And from Elamites, you got some Israelites there. And from the rising of the sun and out of Arabia, you got some Israelites there. So in the mix, you got Israelites mixed with the Edomites in the land. So Edom is wherever we are, not just in one place. Definitely not in Europe as a nation of people. But Esau is everywhere we are. Keeping his foot on us. So you're right about that, right? Esau, the end of the world. Okay, maybe in that sense, yes. Okay. But I'll even embrace that. But Esau's not the white man. He's in every nation just like we are, ruling over us, keeping us oppressed. You might have some people on the Republican ticket that might be Edomite. For real. Right? They want to keep you oppressed. Tell you pull yourself up by your bootstrap. But anyway. Let's go back in here. All right. So. And he shall lift up a standard for the nations, and he shall gather the host, one of Israel. He shall gather the dispersed of Yehuda from the 4 corners of the earth, right? That's where Yehuda's from in the 4 corners. So the 12 tribes chart need to be revisited because it said Yehuda is scattered to the 4 corners, not just in North America. Uh-oh.
Am I right? That's right.
All right. Now, so from the 4 corners of the earth, and the envy of Ephraim shall be taken away, and the enemies of Yehuda shall perish. Ephraim shall not envy Yehuda, and Yehuda shall not afflict Ephraim, right? Now, most people stop right there, but let's continue to read the rest of the text. All right, verse 14. He says, and they shall fly in ships of the Philistines. Wait a minute. Where is there somewhere we read about some ships? Okay, we're gonna say it in a minute. We're gonna say about them ships. All right, now they shall fly in the ships of the Philistines. They shall at the same time spoil the sea, and them that come from the east. Right. So we got Israelites flying on the ships of the Philistines, right? And you said they shall spoil the sea, right? I'm gonna tie. We're gonna connect the dots, right? Because he says something about that, and I think in 60, chapter 60, right? Let's make a little note. All right. Okay. Now, okay. So now let's go back in. He says, and from the east, right? They shall spoil the sea, and them that come from the east, right? Talking about east, talking about all those lands that are in the east of Jerusalem. They're coming from the east, right? Okay. Then he says, and Idumea. Wait a minute. You're going to have some Israelites in Idumea too? And in Idumea. And they shall lay their hands on Moab first, but the children of Ammon shall first obey them. So let's back that up again, right? They shall fly in ships of the Philistines. They shall at the same time spoil the sea, and them that come from the east, they're going to spoil the sea, and them that come from the east, and Idumea. And they shall lay their hands on Moab first, but the children of Ammon shall first obey them. Right? 15 says, Yah shall make desolate the sea of Mizraim, and he shall lay his hands on the river with a strong wind, and he shall smite the 7 channels so that men shall pass through it dry shod. Right? So that's how you're going to get them Israelites that's over there in Egypt, because you got some of them that's being oppressed by Esau that's in Egypt. Okay? Esau's not just in one place, brother. All right. So when you talk about Idumea being judged, and then you're talking about the land, and you're talking about the people, because Idumea is everywhere, oppressing the people of the book. All right. Now, so he says he will make desolate the sea of Mizraim, and he will lay his hand on the river with strong wind, and he shall smite the 7 channels so that men shall pass through it on dry shod. And there shall be a passage for my people that is left in what? Mizraim. And it shall be to Israel as the day when he came forth out of the land of Mizraim. Boom. Right? So, we got to dig a little deeper, right? Now, I told you about the ships, right? So we're going to talk about the ships, right? We're going to talk about the ships, right? Now, okay, so we're going to go to Isaiah 60, right? All right. 60 says, this is the Brenton's version. If you have a problem comprehending, I'll do the King James version, but I like the Brenton because Brenton's kind of amplifies some things. All right, here we go. It says, be enlightened, be enlightened. It says, arise, arise, for the light has come, right? That's what it says in the King James version. But be enlightened, O Jerusalem, for thy light is come, and the kabod, I don't say the pagan terminology, glory, so that's why I say kabod or esteem. The kabod of Yah is risen upon thee. Behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and there shall be a gross darkness on the nations. But Yah shall appear upon thee, and his kabod shall be seen upon thee, right? And kings shall walk in thy light, and nations in thy brightness. Look at that. Kings shall walk in thy light, right? Now, the kings that serve or take hold of the covenant are the ones that's going to be filling this prophecy out. Those wicked ones, they're the ones that's going to be slaughtered in the battle. Okay, so the nations are going to remain, but they're going to be people in there that have embraced the covenant that are not Israelites. All right, now, some of them might just happen to be Europeans, who you call Esau. Okay, now, so he says, the kings shall walk in thy light, and nations in thy brightness. Lift up thine eyes round about, and behold, the children gather, all thy sons have come from far, and thy daughters shall be born on men's shoulders, right? Then shalt thou see the fear and be amazed in thine heart, for the wealth of the sea shall come round to thee, and the nations and peoples and herds and camels shall come to thee. And the camels of Midian and Gepha shall cover thee, and all Saba shall come bearing gold, and shall bring frankincense, and they shall publish salvation of Yah. And the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered, and the rams of Nabaoth shall come, an acceptable sacrifice shall be offered on my altar, and my house of prayer shall be esteemed. Who are these that fly as clouds and as doves with young ones to me? Now he's going to break it down, right? Verse 9. The isles have waited for me, and the ships of Tarshish among the first, to bring thy children from far, and their silver and their gold with them, and that for the sake of the Kodesh name of Yah, and because the Kodesh one of Israel is esteemed. The strangers shall build thy walls, and their kings shall wait upon thee. For by reason of my wrath I smote thee, and by reason of mercy I love thee. And thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day or night, to bring in to thee the power of the Gentiles and their kings as captives. I'm still waiting to get an answer on who these Gentiles. Because if Esau is dwelling in the land, and if Esau's not a Gentile, or is he? I'm waiting for an answer. Every time I ask the question, I never get it. Nobody give me a response and say Esau, whether Esau's a Gentile or not, because I'm confused. Because here we see Gentiles again, right? So he says, what the gates shall be open continually, that they shall not be shut day or night, to bring in thee the power of the Gentiles and their kings as captives. Ooh. Look at that. For the nations and the kings which will not, let me back up. And thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day or night, to bring into thee the power of the Gentiles. Boom. And their kings as captives. Remember, what did we read in Joel 3? Right? They're going to sell your sons, right, to the Sabians. Are these the same people they're calling Gentiles? Man.
Houston, we have a problem.
We have a problem indeed, right?
Wait a minute.
So you keep trying to tell me that these are Edomites. And if you go to Joel, if Joel's saying that these are the Tyre, and here in Isaiah, he's saying the same people that's going to serve are called Gentiles. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Amen.
I'm trying to tell you, y'all think I don't know nothing. You know, you want to shoot shots at me and insult me because of what you think I look like, because I'm an old bottle. The scripture says, remove not the old landmarks. If I'm old, then I'm a landmark. Right? So don't beat me over my head because you disagree with what I'm sharing. Because you don't like what I'm sharing, because it goes against your doctrine. We on the same team, brother. We're on the same team. We all have that same anticipation of being gathered from these lands of captivity, right? We want to be righteous. When the Most High comes, sends his son back to gather us from the nations, we want to be righteous in his eyes. We don't want to be racial and prejudiced, right? We want to recognize that the Most High, he allowed us to go into captivity because we failed miserably. We failed so miserably that we rejected the priesthood, and the Most High had to appoint one of the tribes to be priest for us because we didn't want to do right. And now we return to the covenant. Now we want to damn everybody else, say you can't be part. It's just for us. We failed again. There's no more captivities left for us to go into. Some of us are going to have to be whooped into shape in the kingdom. Right? Remember what Shimon Kefa went through? He was calling them Gentiles unclean. You unclean devils. Y'all had to wake him up. Give him that dream. Don't call what y'all call clean, common, and unclean, right? All right. Gentiles, the ones that embrace the covenant, will be like brothers and sisters, right? Some of them will have a name. Isaiah said they'll have a name better than sons, right? All right, now let me finish up here. All right, so now go back in here. He says, thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day or night, to bring to thee the power of the Gentiles, or forces, it says in King James, and the kings as captives. Now let's look at the regular King James. See what verse 11 says there. Let's compare it. Therefore the gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day or night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. So they're going to be brought to do what? That's why I like Brenton. Brenton tell you what they're going to do. The kings as captives. Look, what better punishment would it be for you to rule and reign, and then in the kingdom, you got to be a servant? That's a humiliating experience, right? It's like a person who had elite status their whole life, and then in the kingdom age, they're a janitor, cleaning people's toilets. But you've been in elite status your whole life. That's the biggest humility. I mean, you can wipe a person out. Look, that's a one-shot deal. We suffered in this captivity for all these years. You mean to tell me all they're going to get is to be wiped out? That's no judgment, right? Now, so he says, verse 12, for the nations and kings which will not serve thee, let me say it again. For the nations and the kings which will not serve thee, one more time. For the nations and kings, talking about nations plural and kings, which means you're going to have some European nations that you call Esau that's going to have kings. They're going to be your servants. Y'all teach that. You can't eliminate your servants now. You wipe your servants out, who's going to be the servants? They owe you. They got a debt that they owe. They got to pay. They sons and daughters got to pay. They benefit off of the privilege in the kingdom age. They're going to pay it all back, Jack.
Emma.
says, for the nations and kings which will not serve thee shall perish, and those nations shall be made utterly desolate. And the kabod of the Libnus shall come to thee with the cypress and pine and cedar together to esteem mine Kodesh, right? And now let's read that in the King James Version just so we can kind of get a little clarity here. A little gray for some. All right. So 13 says what? The kabod of Lebanon shall come to thee. Mm-hmm. The fir tree, mm-hmm. The pine tree, mm-hmm. And the box together, mm-hmm. And the beauty, the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet rich. Because that's what that word glorious means in the Hebrew tongue. Kabodashus, I like to say. Kabod or kabodashus. That's my word, right? And incidentally, that's my name, Kabod. Okay? Now, Yah Kabod, that's my name now. You got it. Right. Now, so he said that now, so I said shall be kabodashus, right? Now look, 14 said, I'm gonna look at the Brentons, but 14, this is King James, said, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. They're gonna eat crow. And they shall call thee the city of Yah, the Zion of the Kodesh one of Israel. Right now, let's go back to Brentons, okay? The sons of them that afflicted thee and of them that provoked thee shall come to thee in fear, and thou shalt be called Zion, the city of the Kodesh one of Israel. Verse 15, because thou hast become desolate and hated. Oh my goodness, boy, who's been more hated than the so-called Negroes? No, like y'all say, so-called Negro, Native Americans, Hispanics. What's some other names y'all got? 12 tribes chart. All right. You know what? Believe it or not, man, I kind of like you guys. You guys got a lot of zeal. Okay. Some people don't have no fire, no zeal. You got fire, right? So keep the videos coming. We're gonna come on one accord eventually, right? After you start calling me names and we start listening and we start comparing notes and we start put a little this here, put a little that there, we put it all together, like, you know what, we got it now. Right. I appreciate a brother coming from another angle. Because why? Iron sharpens iron, brother. You don't know it all, well, neither do I. One thing I do know, all white people are not Esau. That's what I do know. Okay, now. Where was I at here before I went to meddling? I lost my place. Let's see. Let's go back here. Okay, 14. Here we are. 14. And the sons of them that afflicted thee and of them that provoked thee shall come to thee in fear, and thou shalt be called Zion, the city of the Kodesh one of Israel, because thou hast become desolate and hated, and there was no helper. Therefore I will make thee a perpetual gladness. Oh my goodness, a joy of many generations, right? And thou shalt suck the milk of the Gentiles. So that's where I have a problem. If Esau is a Gentile and Esau going to be destroyed, then who's the Gentile we going to be sucking the milk from?
Am I right? That's right.
Inquiring minds want to know, brother, because y'all know you got part of the story right, but you leaving a hole in the whole flow of the prophetic flow, because we need to know who these Gentiles are, because these Gentiles right now got our riches according to Paul. And these riches that these Gentiles got, they're going to bring back to us. We're going to have some boats in the kingdom, right? We're going to have some jets in the kingdom, right? We're gonna be living large, brother, right? They're going to serve us. We're going to be able to eat some filet mignon. As we said out in Chicago, filet mignon. You want some filet mignon? Or some horse doovers? We used to say that jokingly, right? All right. But see, the Most High, it's due to us. That's why we didn't get our 40 acres of the moon. Y'all know that, but I mean, some people that are not in this knowledge, they don't know that. Our 40 acres plus is coming in the kingdom age for 1,000 years. We're going to get it all back. Bring it to me. Show me the money. It's coming, right? It's coming, right? We keep serving Yah and we keep doing right by Yah, right? He said the last shall be first and first shall be last, right? Now, let's go back in here. So, he said, verse 16, thou shalt suck the milk of the Gentiles and shall eat the wealth of the kings. Who are these kings? These kings are Gentiles. So if Esau is a Gentile, then he'll be around during the kingdom age. Okay. So these Gentiles are going to serve. They're going to serve in the kingdom, right? Gentiles, we shall eat the wealth of the kings. We shall know that I am Yah, that saves thee and delivers thee, the Kodesh one of Israel. Verse 17. And for brass I will bring thee gold, and for iron I will bring thee silver, and instead of wood I will bring thee brass, instead of stone, iron, and I will make thy princes peaceable, and thy overseers righteous, and injustice shall no more be heard in thy land, nor destruction, nor misery in the coast, but thy walls shall be called salvation, thy gates sculptured work. And thou shalt no more have the sun for a light by day, nor shall the moon of the rising of the moon lighten thy night, but Yah shall be thine everlasting light, and Yah thy kabod, thy riches, right? If you see that word, all the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. And when do we get it? In the kingdom age. Hallelujah. 4:20, the sun shall no more set, nor shall the moon be eclipsed, for Yah shall be thy everlasting light in the days of thy mourning, right? And the people also shall be all righteous, right? We're going to stop fighting, brother. We're going to stop calling each other old bottle. That's all right. I'll be an old bottle, brother. I'm going to own it. Why don't you own it too? Because you old too. If I'm an old bottle, you an old coon. So we all together, brother. The pot calling the kettle black, brother. I got a gap in my teeth, so you got a gap in yours too. You didn't think I was gonna pull your picture out, did you? I'm a techie, man. I know where you live at.
You in danger, girl.
I keep telling you, I'm not an agent, but I got family members. They connected and they know where they can find anybody. All I got to do is get on the phone and say, hey, somebody's harassing me. They can find your ISPN number and everything. They can take us. I got some nephews. They're some bad boys. They wouldn't like me to be telling this, but they can put your GPS location in and have a satellite zoom right in on your property and watch you while you looking at TV. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to scare you. I'm just letting you know. Look, they're not in this truth like I am. They in the system. Right? They can find, my nephew said, he said, Uncle, we can find a penny. I said, what? He said, we got the technology. He said, we can find a penny on your property. I said, that's too much information there, brother. I don't want you to find no penny. So don't be surprised when you think people spy on you. People are smart. The government got connections. And nobody, you can hide your name and change your name, put your YouTube name and change it. They know exactly where you live. Right?
Am I right?
That's right.
Okay. So that's why I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to die. I have no fear of death. Okay? I'm not afraid. I'm a soldier. Just know one thing. You better know all the points. You trying to kill me. You better know all the pressure points to kill me. Because if I'm like Jason on Friday the 13th, and I could just twiddle my finger, you in trouble. You in danger, girl.
You in danger, girl.
All right, let's get back. And I went to meddling. I'm having fun. That's all. I'm just having fun. Okay. This is my personality. I have personality like that, right? All right. Now, where was I at here? I'm starting to work back out again. I'm trying to get buff. All right. Now, let me get back in here. Okay. So he says, the people also shall be righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, preserving that which they have planted, even the works of their hands for Kabbat. The little ones shall become thousands, and the least a great nation. I, Yah, will gather them in due time, right? So now, that is deep because people think in the kingdom, nobody's going to be married. That's talking about those in the resurrection, right? There's going to be people left that's not going to have a new body. That's a whole nother lesson. And some people, that's too deep for some people. They can't get into that. But everybody's not going to have a new body. When the Messiah said they're not neither given in marriage, he's talking about those in the resurrection, not those to the left. You got people that's going to be left. You got Israelites, right, that are going to be brought back home, right? There's a part where it says, I'll grab a hold of the skirt of them. Let's see. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Okay, let's read this, right? That one verse, but this is good. This is Zechariah. All these prophets, I keep telling you, all these prophets are saying the same thing. Nobody has a whole different prophecy. They're all saying the same thing. Watch this now. This Zechariah. The word of Yah Almighty came to me. This is the Brinson's version, right? Okay. Thus says Yah Almighty, I have been jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with great jealousy. I have been jealous for her with great fury. Thus says Yah, I will return to Zion and dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. Oh, really? And Jerusalem shall be called the true city and the mountain of Yah Almighty Kodesh mountain. Thus says Yah Almighty, there shall yet dwell old men and old women in the streets of Jerusalem, everyone holding his staff in his hand for age. 5. And the broad places of the city shall be filled with boys and girls playing in the streets. What? I thought nobody would be married in the kingdom age. Boys and girls in the streets? There could be boys and girls in the glorified body. In Deuteronomy 30, the Most High said, I'm going to increase you, right? I make you plenteous, right? So somebody's going to be having children in the kingdom age, brother. Which means if you're having children, you ain't going to be having an immaculate conception. Somebody's going to be giving birth because everybody's not going to be in a glorified body. You're going to have some people that's not having embraced the covenant. They're going to be brought back home and they're going to have to die. So if we're righteous and we're part of that number, that remnant, those are the only ones that's going to get a new body. Those that are not a part of that remnant, you got to get it right. You got to get it right and get it tight. Right?
Am I right?
Now, let's go back in. So, Zechariah 8 and 7. Thus says Yah Almighty, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west. How about that? Are we seeing the same thing that the other prophet said? Right? Yes, we are. Right? Now, and I will bring them in and cause them to dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be to me a people, and I will be to them Yah in truth and in righteousness. Thus says Yah Almighty, let your hands be strong, ye that hear in these days these words out of the mouth of the prophets from the day that the house of Yah Almighty was founded, and from the time that the temple was built. For before those days the wages of men could not be profitable, and there could be no hire of cattle, and there could be no peace by reason of the affliction of him that went out, or to him that came in. For I would have let loose all men, everyone against his neighbor. Verse 11. Okay. But now I will not do to the remnant of this people according to the former days, says Yah Almighty, but I will show peace. The vine shall yield her fruit, and the land shall yield her produce, and the heaven shall give its due, and I will give as an inheritance all these things to the remnant of my people. There goes that remnant. But we said it's the remnant that's going to have the transformation. Not everybody, not every Israelite. Some Israelites going to have to go under this banner of the covenant, just like we are doing now. Right? Okay. And it shall come to pass, as you were cursed among the nations, O house of Yehudah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and you shall be a blessing. Be of good courage and strengthen your hands. For thus says Yah Almighty, as I took counsel to afflict you. Wait a minute. The Most High took counsel to afflict us? So, Psalm 83, the Confederacy was the council to afflict us? Mm-hmm. That's right.
What you bringing to the table, brother?
That's right. Thank you. All right, now, man, that's a revelation right there in itself. For thus said Yah Almighty, as I have took counsel to afflict you when your fathers provoked me, right? Said Yah Almighty, and I repented not, so have I prepared and taken counsel in these days to do good to Jerusalem and to the house of Yehudah. Be of good courage. These are the things which you shall do. Speak truth, everyone, with his neighbor. Judge truth and peaceable judgment in your gates, right? So that's what we got to get as Israelites in captivity. We have to learn how to speak truth to our neighbor and judge truth and peaceable judgment, right? All this exposure stuff because somebody falls, right? That person's an Israelite that might have fell into wickedness, like all of us have fallen at some point in time in our life when we were stupid, young and dumb. I made some young and dumb decisions and did some dumb, stupid stuff. We all have. But now I'm older now, right? I can't be an old fool as an old bottle. Hey, look, GMS, South Carolina, send me a t-shirt. It says old bottle. I'll wear it on the video, old bottle. I ain't brought me an old bottle. Look, I'm an old bottle with some wisdom. How about that? Okay, now. All right, let's go back in here. So, he said, these are the things which you shall do. Speak truth, everyone with his neighbor. Judge truth and peaceable judgment in your gates. And let none of you devise evil in his heart against his neighbor. Right? I'm your neighbor, brother. Wishing death on me, that's not it. That's not being peaceable. I heard you say in your video, the Most High gonna kill me. Bitter water and sweet water should come out of the same fountain. Why would you fix your lips to say something like that about a brother, to have a family? Would you want my family to be without a father? You wishing death on me? That's not good at all. I would never be so mad at you to where I say something like that. I'm not going to pronounce judgment on any Israelite. Right? As far as to death is concerned, no. I don't want no Israelite to die, whether they righteous or wicked. Let Yah bring forth whatever is due to them. And I'm not going to rejoice if it happens, because we're not supposed to rejoice if something happens to a brother or sister. Right? Now, he says, and let none of you devise evil in his heart against his neighbor, and love not a false oath. For all these things I hate, says Yah Almighty. Okay, verse 18. And the word of Yah Almighty came to me, saying, thus saith Yah Almighty, the fourth fast and the fifth fast and the seventh fast and the 10th fast shall be to the house of Yehudah for joy, gladness, for good feasts, and you shall rejoice and love ye the truth and peace. How about that? All right. So let's finish that out. And thus say Yah Almighty, the fourth fast and the fifth fast and the seventh fast and the 10th fast shall be to the house of Yehudah for, okay, I read that one. Okay. Thus saith Yah Almighty, yet shall many people come, and the inhabitants of many cities, and the inhabitants of 5 cities shall come together to one place, saying, let us go make supplication to Yah and seek the face of Yah Almighty. I will go also. And many peoples, this is the reason why I read this chapter, because this one verse here. But I couldn't let all that slide by, because that was good stuff there. All right, now he says, and many peoples and many nations shall come and seek earnestly the face of Yah Almighty in Jerusalem, and to obtain the favor of Yah. Right? Read that again. Many people. And the many people are people, including Israelites, but not limited to Israelites. It's going to be other nations. It's going to be on the earth. These nations shall come to seek earnestly, right? We can't kick them to you're not an Israelite. No, we're the priests of the earth. That's what the 1,000 years is all about. We're going back to that priesthood. That's why we need him. He needed a new covenant, a renewed covenant with us, because why? Put his law in our hearts and our minds, so we'll do right by people, right? We're gonna need service because it's a big world out there. We can't do the manual labor. We have to enforce. We have to be the government. We have to be the leaders, the heads of states, nations, right? They report to us. And we have to train them the ways of Yah, right? The law should go forth from Jerusalem, right? Now, so many people, many nations shall come to seek earnestly the face of Yah Almighty in Jerusalem, and to obtain favor of Yah. Verse 23. Thus say Yah Almighty, in those days my word shall be fulfilled in 10 men of all the languages of the nation. Read it again. Somebody missed it. In those days, my word shall be fulfilled if 10 men of all the languages of the nation should take hold, even take hold of him that is an Israelite, saying, we will go with thee, for we have heard that Yah is with you. Boom. That's the priesthood in the kingdom age. That's why we can't be prejudiced and racist, because Yah created the waster to destroy, right? And he created, how does that saying go? You know what I'm saying. The waster to destroy. So it's Isaiah 56. He says, behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth the instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy, right? But no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Now, the Brenton version reads a little different. It says, behold, I have created thee, not as a coppersmith blowing coals, and bringing out a vessel fit for you, but I have created thee not for ruin, that I should destroy thee. I will not suffer any weapon formed against thee to prosper, and every voice that shall rise up against thee for judgment thou shalt vanquish them all, and thine adversaries shall be condemned thereby. There is an inheritance to them that serve Yah, and you shall be righteous before me, says Yah. All right, very good. So now, I said all that to say this here. I'm showing you that you can go through every prophecy, which I don't have time to do in this video. I'll give you some references and you can read them. Each one of them prophecies don't say Esau is the Caucasian. Do they pronounce judgment on Esau? Yes. Do they say that Esau is ruling the world at the end of the days, other than 2nd Ezra 6 and 9? No, they don't. Okay. I'll give you references. Okay, now. Let's go back to the video and wrap this up, and then I'll give you my references, and then you can look at those references. If you find one of those references that I give you that says Esau is ruling the nations at the end of time, or he is the Caucasian, I'll eat the page without salt. All right.
Let's bring up the NLT. It says that when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. So our whole point for even doing these videos, the first time doing the first video.
Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna, if I can help it, I'm not gonna play your shots at me, because it's tasteless. I want the content of what you're saying. All right. Okay, let's go back in.
It says, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the Lord is going to punish them. And, and we can read on from here. Let's read on.
So I want to interrupt. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. But where's Basra? Right? It's right there in the land. Right? So all the judgment of Idumea and Esau is happening in the land, right? In the end time, right? Not in America, because we making America be Babylon. That is happening. That's the reason why they put that name Basra in there. Basra is in South Jordan. Let's continue.
Let's jump into verse 8. It says, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. That's very key. Right. Let's change this whole thing over to the NLT.
The controversy.
And that's
now, with that note, I'm not going to be lengthy, but I like that because Isaiah talks about the controversy, right? I think it's 61. Let's see, 61. Is it 61? Okay, let's get back to the video.
The end of the world right there. The nuclear destruction is the end of Esau's rulership. Jumping in at verse 6, it says, the sword of the Lord is drenched with blood, this is the NLT, and covered with fat, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of rams prepared for sacrifice. Yes, the Lord will offer a sacrifice in the city of Basra. What's spiritual Basra right now? Babylon the Great America.
No,
It is the
no. See, I knew he was going to do that. He made it spiritual. There's nothing spiritual about that. Remember, when you comprehend Daniel's 70 weeks is all about the people and the land. Let me reiterate that for you, my brother. Okay, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy Kodesh city, right? So it's the people and the city, right? Boom. So you can't make it spiritual Babylon, because that's what you're doing. You took a turn down a back alley and got lost, because it said it right there in that version that you just pointed out. It said city of Basra, right? It said city of Basra, and that's the New Living Translation. Okay, so now I have the Good News Bible, and it says the same thing. The sword will be covered with their blood, and blood fat lambs and goats that are sacrificed, and Yah will offer his sacrifice in the city of Basra. He will make his great slaughter in the land of Edom. So, boom. So you spiritualize the text. Now, when I was in theology school, my college professor would call you a spiritualizer. You can't spiritualize a literal text. So it tells you where the judgment is going to happen in the city of Basra, right? In the land of Edom, right? Why is it got to happen in the city? Because that's the land where we're going back to. We're not going to go back into no land in peace as long as there's other people there. So that land has to be judged, and those people that are there, you have a combination. That's why I went to the other chapter and I showed you all these nations going to be judged, because everybody has a foot in the land that the Most High gave to our forefathers, and they have to be driven out or either wiped out. Right? So let's go back into the video.
empire, the capital city, or the ruling place of the Edomites. This is where they rule the whole world from, over here. America, Babylon the Great. And the empire spread all over the earth. The Israelis got a portion over there. You got London, everywhere, because Esau's in rulership. He's over all these different places, particularly Europe and in the Western world.
No.
He will make a mighty slaughter in Edom.
No.
Even men as strong as wild oxen will die. The young men alongside the veterans. The land will be soaked with blood and the soil enriched with fat. For it is the day of the Lord's revenge, the year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel. That's it, you know?
So your point is well taken, but spiritual Babylon is America, is the Edomite that's going to be judged? No, not at all, because it's not even our land. Why he judge a place that's not our land? We going up out of here. We going back home. We don't have no axe to grind with the people here in America. We're going back to our land. It's people that's in our land. Enemies are in our land. Strangers are in the land. You know that song, Strangers in the Land. Those strangers got to go. They got to get out. Some of them going to have to be driven out. Going to have to be. That's why he going to bring all, you know what make people flee? Battle. When people see war, they're going to vacate the premises, right? That's how we're going to end up back home. The Most High got to drive him out, brother. He got to drive old Satan away, right? All right, now, Okay, we're gonna go back to the. I had to cut some of the commentary out. We're gonna go back to the next part. All right.
63 verse 1. This comes at the end of the world. Who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone. And the winepress, another name for that is what? Where's it going to be? In the Middle East, where World War III or Armageddon is being fought. You can read Revelation 14.
So you got that part right. So how are you getting Basra being Babylon, America?
To go into that more in depth. And Joel chapter 3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Listen, for the day of revenge is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And what is that? That's the same thing that was written in Isaiah 34.
Okay, so now, when you tie it all together, my brother, all the prophecies talk about him bringing all nations against Jerusalem. Joel, Zechariah, all the places, right? And then when you get to Revelation, now all of a sudden that place is America. And that's suspect. Because why would all the prophets prophesy about him bringing, is America the New Jerusalem? Right? Okay. I'm going to show you something as you close out. I'm going to close out. So I'm going to make a note here. Okay, let's go back in.
It's the end of the world, and the Most High going to destroy these Edomites. From the NLT, who is this that comes from Edom, from the city of Basra, with his clothing stained red? Who is this in royal robes, marching in his great strength? It is I, the Lord, announcing your salvation. It is I, the Lord, who has the power to save. Why are your clothes so red, as if you have been treading out grapes? I have been trodden the winepress alone. No one was there to help me. In my anger, I have trampled my enemies, the Edomites, as if they were grapes. Who's in power at the end of the world? In my fury, I have trampled my foes.
So you keep reading to the text that don't say he's in power at the end of the world.
Their blood has stained my clothes. For the time has come for me to avenge my people and to ransom them from their oppressors. Who are their oppressors? Edom, Esau. That's who their oppressors are.
Not So we just did a roll call in the previous chapter where he names all those nations that are going to be judged. So the oppressors is not just Esau. And Esau is not the so-called white man, because none of those verses that you gave prove that he's white. He's the Caucasian, right? What your verses prove is that Esau is going to be judged at the end of days, right? But it doesn't go into the specifics as far as to who. It does say in the land of Edom, but you want to make the land of Edom be America. You can't do that. That's not Esau's land. But if he, of course, in your estimation of Esau as the Caucasian, then yes, wherever he is, that's his land. Okay. I see your point, but no, it's not a good point. Okay.
Going back to 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 9. It says it right here plainly. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Now, if you really want to get ugly, let's go to 2nd Esdras 11, and it tells you that the Roman Empire is the end, and when the Lord he gonna end the world through them.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so he's about to go somewhere. All right, so let me get my scriptures back. Okay, I'm with him now. All right.
The fourth beast, the ruler of the fourth beast is Esau. Now, you said the fourth beast.
Wait a minute. Okay, here we go.
This is 2nd Esdras 11 and 38. I'm going to start at 37. And I beheld him, lo, as it were a roaring lion, the lion of the tribe of Judah, chased out of the wood, and I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle. The eagle is the Roman Empire, right? In our time now, we say America, but this prophecy is of the Roman Empire. And said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts?
I want to stop him first. So you make the assumption that this eagle's talking about Rome, okay? That's an assumption, and you haven't proved that. That's your doctrine. So I can't concur with that because that's your doctrine. But you said Roman. I don't see Roman. I just see a symbology. It says, and I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. You're saying that's Israel, and the eagle is Rome. Okay. I'd have to read the whole thing. Okay. Okay, let's just say this for the sake of argument. Let's just say this is wrong. Okay, let's see his point.
Beasts, right? Did we show you that in Daniel 2? Them four major empires. The fourth is the end of the world, which is the Roman Empire, which we're in it now. The revived Roman Empire, America, NATO, and the EU, which is ruled by who? The so-called white man Esau, the Edomites. Esau, the end of the world. And we showed you the great red dragon in video number 1. In video number 1, we actually went into that.
Okay, let me see. Pause there for a second. Okay, here we go.
Beast, which is the revival of the Roman Empire, which Esau is the ruler of it. Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them?
Okay, all right. So you made your point. It is Rome, right, that you read in this particular text here. But that doesn't prove that Rome is Esau. In your mind, that does. But from just somebody reading the text, that doesn't say that it's Esau, that Rome is Esau. All right. Okay, so to sum it up, he wants me to stop doing teaching on Esau. I ain't gonna stop. I'm gonna keep going. Every time you put one up, I'm gonna put one up. Every time you try to prove me wrong, I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna use your content, and I'm gonna show you that it's not, you haven't proved that Esau was wrong. That's your camp doctrine, and I ain't buying it, and I ain't letting it slide. Okay, so I'm gonna close this video out with this here, right? I said I was gonna close with Revelation, okay, to bring it home, okay, because our brother wants to make America be Babylon, the city that's being judged. I'm going to show you in Revelation, because Revelation connects with the prophet. I'm going to show you Revelation first, and then I'm going to show you what the prophet had to say about the city that's being judged. So let's go to Revelation first, right? All right, here we go. So this is Revelation 18, start at 8, verse 18. He says, then and cried when they, let me back up. I'm in the middle of the thought. The merchants of these, verse 15, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand far off for fear of her torment, right? Weeping and wailing, right? So just to get good, I'm kind of right in the middle. So let's read this one here. This is talking about Babylon. Who's Babylon? He says it's America. Okay, now, after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was enlightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become a habitation of devils, and a hold of every foul spirit, and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, right? Now, so we see that. Now, what I want to do, I want to save time, I want to skip down, right? Okay, generally I like to read it all the way down, but I want to go to the punchline. Okay, now, 11 says, the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So, now that's going to come to play in a minute, okay? No man buyeth her merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold, silver, precious stones, pearls, fine linen, purple, silk, scarlet, and fine wood, and all manners of vessels of ivory, and all manners of vessels of precious wood, and of brass, of iron, and marble, and cinnamon, odors, ointments, frankincense, wine, oil, fine flour, wheat, beasts, sheep, horses, chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. Now, our brother covered that in a previous video, which we're going to do that video next, okay? Or it will be uploaded after this one here. Okay, now, the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. Right. Now, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city, right? That's a key word there, okay? That was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold, with precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the companies in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood far off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Right? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, the great city wherein were made rich all that had ships by sea, by reason of costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and you Kodesh apostles and prophets, for Yah have avenged you on her. Now, let me read that again, because this is a kicker right here. So he said, so this city that's being identified, he says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and you Kodesh apostles and prophets, for Yah have avenged you on her. One more time. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and you Kodesh apostles and prophets, for Yah have avenged you on her. One more time for Diana. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and you Kodesh apostles. Well, Kodesh, he talking about, shut up, dodo brain. See, that's how you do when something's brought out and you don't comprehend it or it debunks your doctrine. You go to picking and naming and look. Don't be a dodo brain your whole life, right? Learn something, right? Learn.
You gonna learn today.
You learn something, right? Don't get mad because because look, I've been in this walk a long time, and I done seen it all, brother. I done sailed the 7 seasons. I done seen it all. Ain't too many things I haven't heard before, right? All right. So swallow your pride and say, you know what? That old bottle is teaching me something, right? Let the old bottle teach you something. The old bottle been around for a while. Okay, I learned a little something. I was young and dumb for. Oh, I almost said it. You know the rest.
Am I right?
Okay, now. Oh man. I love doing these videos, man. It's just This brother think he gonna shut me down. Man, you giving me ammunition, boy. I'm having fun doing response videos to you. I got another one after this one. All right. Anyway, let me get back in. So where was that? Okay. All right.
What you bringing to the table, brother?
I can't help myself, man. This is funny, man. Y'all funny to me because the best y'all can do is name call. This must hurt bad. It hurt so bad that you gotta call me names. It's funny to me that y'all don't have nothing but name calling. Okay, man. Okay, let me. I'm about to drop the bomb on you, right? I'm about to drop the bomb. Here we go. All right. So he says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye Kodesh, not holy. Holy is a pagan deity, Helios. That's why I say Kodesh. You want to know why the old Bible say Kodesh? Because holy is a pagan deity, Helios. All right. We got that from the Germans. Just like you got Lord from the Germans, right? Now stop being a dodo brain your whole life. Learn something. Learn today.
You're gonna learn today.
All right, now let me get back. Where was I at before you interrupted me? Get back to my. All right, now he says, "You Kodesh apostles and prophets, for Yah have avenged you on her." Now stop for a second. Ask the question: where was the apostles and the prophets in America? Let me ask the question again. When was the apostles, and I'm talking about, the power, I'm not talking about these self-made apostles, and prophet, I'm not talking about these new age prophets, right? Where were the apostles that were serving Yah? Because see, we were in this land of captivity. We just basically coming into this covenant. Most of us, the longest probably that's living today is probably maybe 30 or 40 years to the max. 40 years. I'm 61. Told you my age, right? Look good, don't I? You wish you looked good at 61, don't you? But anyway, I've been in this walk since 1990. How many years is that? 35 years, right? Still, I don't know any apostle or prophet of Yah, of the covenant, that was slain in America. If you know one, please help me. I'll help a brother out. Right now. So he says, the heavens and the Kodesh apostles, Yah have avenged you on her. And I'm not done. Don't touch that doll, because I'm going to take you to the bottom and let you see. And you chew that, put down your pipe and smoke it and tell me I'm wrong. Am I right?
Am I right?
That's right. Play with me. Now, all right. So, verse 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone. There goes your great millstone right there. And cast it into the sea, saying, that's that great millstone needed to be cast to the sea. Thus, with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Right? Okay. Now, 22 says, and the voice of the harpers. Okay. Do we have voice of harpers in in New York City, because y'all want to make New York City to be the city Babylon. That's the city, right? Because it didn't say the nation, it says the city. See, people got a nation being destroyed when he says it's going to be a city that's going to be destroyed, not a nation, right? A city, right? All right, here we go. So we have Harper's in New York City, okay? Right? All right. So we have, it says, where was that? Musicians. Oh, a lot of musicians in New York. Pipers. That would be Philadelphia. Because you got the Mummers Parade down there. Pipers, okay. Trumpeters. Okay, yeah. Shall be, it says it shall be heard no more in thee. Okay, so okay, I can kind of go with New York a little bit so far, right? Except for the verse we just read before, apostles and prophets were being avenged. I wonder why they would be avenged in New York, Babylon, America. Okay, let's continue. Says, and no craftsman, and whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of the millstone. Okay, so New York stock is saying, yeah, talking about New York, right? Yeah, sound like New York, right? Okay, all right. Sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. Millstone in New York, that one's different. Okay. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee. I thought they had street lights in New York. And the voice of the bridegroom. Wait a minute, brother. Wait a minute. When was the voice of the bridegroom heard in New York? Wait a minute. I got the answer. When Benny Hinn was there. Creflo Dollar did have a church there. Maybe it was Creflo Dollar was when the voice of the bridegroom was heard there. Was it Creflo Dollar? Who else was in New York? Fred Price had a church there too. So was the voice of the bridegroom heard when Creflo or Fred Price or Benny Hinn, Marilyn Hickey? So it said that the voice of the bridegroom was heard in the city. Who's the bridegroom? Right? Who's the bridegroom? Huh?
What you bringing to the table, brother?
So it says that the voice of the bridegroom is heard in this city, right? Okay. And of the bride, the bride. Okay, well, the bride, so we're here in New York. Okay, so that part, but the bridegroom, well, we were the ones that carried the voice of the bridegroom when we spoke on the streets, brother. I was born but not yesterday. That's not talking about you. That's not talking about GMS camp or any of the One West divisions. Even though your headquarters is in New York, but that's not talking about you. I know you bleed as you carry the voice of the bridegroom on the streets of New York, right? Times Square. We is out there every day, brother, putting our posts up, and we had Caesar Borgia. No. It says the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. That part could be New York, but we don't have a consistency here in this passage that point directly exclusively to New York. So therefore, by default, if New York don't fit the mold, where in the United States does it fit all of these points? Okay. I'm taking my time because I want you to think before I get to the punchline. All right, now, so all these things are not being fulfilled in the United States, brother. Right now, he says, for by their sources were all nations deceived. Okay. That could be New York. Okay, now, here is the kicker. And then I'm going to close out with what the prophet said, right? Okay, now, he says, in her was found the blood of the prophets. Wait a minute. In her was found the blood of the prophets. One more time. In her, talk about that city, Babylon, was found the blood of the prophets. Boom. What city, even New York, was the blood of the prophets found? It says the blood of the prophets, right? And of saints, and of all that were slain upon the earth, right? Bam. It can't be New York. It can't be Boston, New England. It can't be Baltimore, DC. It can't be Chicago, LA. It can't be Atlanta, Miami, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Dallas, Houston, Milwaukee. I was going to say Wisconsin. It can't be none of them because the blood of the prophets was not found in America. What did the Messiah say? O thou that killest the prophets. Where were they killed at? Only one place where they was killed at, in the land of nativity, brother. Okay. So now, I'm going to bring it home. Let's go to Ezekiel. Yechezkel 27, right? This goes back to your tire. I'm going to make you really mad at me. You're going to start calling me names after this. You might step it up a notch and start cussing. Profanity. You're going to do a whole video with profanity after every other word when you get done with this one here. All right? Because I'm showing you where Revelation is quoting from, right? Reconnecting the dots. So you want to know the precept? Yechezkel 27 is the precept. Let's go. The word of Yah came to me saying, now, son of man, take up a lamentation against who? Tyrus. Oh, Tyrus. Who is Tyrus? Wait a minute. Tyrus. Isn't that Esau? Silly rabbit. You rocking on that chair now. You want to throw something through the screen. You want to bust the screen. That stupid Hebrew. Boom, 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 boom. upside the head. Oops, boom. Y'all mad now. Look, listen. he said, Tyrus, take a lamentation, and say unto Tyrus, O thou that is situated at the entry of the sea. Oh, okay. So Tyrus is situated at the entry of the sea. Oh, brother, that's New York City, right? Because they put Lady Liberty out there in the Hudson River. That's New York. The spiritual Tyrus. You want to spiritualize everything to make it fit your narrative. You can't do that, brother. Wait a minute.
You can't do that, brother.
I want to hear myself.
You can't do that, brother. What you bringing to the table, brother?
So you can't do that. You can't do that, right? Now, back in. So he says, now, son of man, take up a lamentation for Tyrus, and say to Tyrus, O thou that situated at the entry of the sea, which art a merchant of, of the people for many hours. Thus saith Yah, Tyrus, thou hast said, I am perfect in beauty. Wait a minute, brother. Wait 1 second.
Wait a minute.
We was reading in Revelation about some merchant. Could it be that Revelation is John the Revelator is reinterpreting what the prophet said? Yep. All right. He said, thou art situated at the entry of the sea, which art a merchant of the people of many isles. Thus saith Yah, O Tyrus, thou hast said, I am perfect in beauty. Thy borders are in the midst of the sea, right? Thy builders have perfected thy beauty. They have made all thy ship boards of fir trees and sinire. They have taken cedars from Lebanon to make masts for thee, right? All right. I'm curious to know what the Brenton's version is going to say, but let's just continue. Of the oaks of Bashan, we'll read the Brenton's version, we'll wrap it up with that. Have they made thine oars, the company of the Asherites have made thy benches of ivory brought out of the isles of Chittim. How about that? Boom. Wait a minute. Ivory was brought out of the isle. So Esau brought? Because Esau Chittim, right? So Esau, he left his homeland, went to Chittim, and brought benches of ivory? Okay. Sounds good to me, brother. I'm going to teach that.
You'll never learn. Not today or never.
Okay, now, y'all see I'm having fun. I'm enjoying doing this. I can't wait for the next part. Okay, now, he says, fine linen and embroidered works from Egypt was that which thou spread forth to be thy sail purple, blue and purple from the isles of Elisha was that which covered thee. So he's naming all these merchants, right? Didn't Revelation talk about this city had all these merchants, right? Do we see a parallel here, right? Okay, look. So now we go from Elisha, which was that which covered thee. The inhabitants of Zidon and Arvad were thy mariners. Oh, okay. Now we got Zidon and Arvad, and he says, O Tyrus, that were in thee were thy pilots. So Zidon, Arvad, Canaanites, right? Phoenicians, and to your point, you said, brother, you don't know who Esau is. He's right there. Zidon, Arvad, right? Tyre, right? I covered that in a lesson that you probably didn't see. But these are Edomites, right? Now, I'm going to give you a bonus, right? Since you don't think I know who Esau is, right? All right. Stay to the end. I'll give it to you. All right. Okay. Now, where was that? Zidon, Arvad were thy mariners, thy wise men, O Tyrus, that were in thee were thy pilots. The ancients of Gebal. Oh, we got Gebal there now. Gebal, Ammon, and Moab, and Ammon, Moab, Ishmael, Hagarenes, right? Idumea, right? All those people in there, right? Okay. Ancients of Gebal were wise men, therefore were in thee thy caulkers, and all thy ships of the sea with their mariners were in thee to occupy thy merchandise. Now we got Persia, Lud, Foot, just about every one of the sons of Noah. At least representatives anyway. Persia, Lud, Foot, right? In thy army, the men of war, they hang the shield and helmet in thee. They set forth thy communists. Men of Arvad with thy army were upon thy walls round about, and the Gamadiums were in thy towers. They hang their shields upon thy walls round about, and have made thy beauty perfect. So you got all these nations, right? The Revelation is talking about all these nations. They were thy merchants, right? Then we go further. Now we bring Tarshish in the picture. 27 and 12. Tarshish was thy merchant by reason of multitude of all kinds of riches. With silver, iron, tin, lead. They traded in thy fairs. Now we got Yavan, right? Tubal, Meshach. They were thy merchants too. And they traded. What did they trade? The persons of men. Right? Didn't it say in Revelation? The souls of men and slaves? Boom! This is not talking about America, brother. Right? He said, Yavan, Tubal, Meshach, right? So, is Yavan, is he Esau? Okay. Tubal, is he Esau? Meshach, is he Esau? Yeah, brother, all those are Edomites. Tarshish, Edomite. Interesting. So, how convenient that that fits your narrative that all those people, Esau took all those names and applied them to himself. You flunked it. You would flunk the college exam with that answer. You would flunk the college exam with that answer. Big time. Like Donald Trump says, bigly.
What you bringing to the table, brother?
Right? So, he says all the nations. He's naming all the nations right here. Right? Then he says, so after he goes through all that, Tubal, Meshach, Yavan, Tubal, Meshach were thy merchants. They traded the persons of men. So Yavan, Tubal, Meshach is trading with Tyre. So my question is,
where's Yavan, Tubal, Meshach today?
Who took their names? Because we see them in the prophecy, right? We see Yavan, Tubal, Meshach here. We see Tarshish. We see the Hamites, Gebal. We see Japhite, the Persians, right? We see Hamite, Lud, and Foot, right? Arvad, right? We see Gebel. We see Sidon, Arvad. We see Tyrus, right? Elisha, we see. Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim. All these Gentiles. Kittim, how about that? Those you see, Kittim, Tarshish, all these people, right? But you say the Edomites. All these sons of Yephath is in this chapter. Why wouldn't he just have said in this chapter, Edomites? If they're Edom.
What you bringing to the table, brother?
See, don't y'all see how dumb this doctrine is? Right now. So we got all that in there, right? Persian and Lud and Foot, right? Arvad, Tubal, Meshach, Tubal, Yavon, Tubal, Meshach. We got Chittim in there. Now we got, go down here. And they of the house of Togarmah. We can't leave him out. We can't leave out Togarmah. Togarmah is part of it too. He's the Edomite too. And Esau took his name too. You trying to play me. You trying to play me. You are trying to play me.
Bring it out!
Done. You're done. You're done. Cut. Slam. Dunk. I want you to answer all. I want you to look. If you don't do anything, go to Exodus, Ezekiel 27, and do an exegesis on this to me, and don't just give me the generic. They're all Esau. It don't fit. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. Right?
Am I right?
The glove don't fit. Now, so he says what? Togarmah is added to the rotation, traded in thy fast horses and horsemen and mules. The men of Dedan, wait a minute, now we got another person. The Dedan was a merchant. Many odds were merchants of thine hand. They brought thee for pleasant horns of ivory, ebony, and Syria. Wait a minute, Syria. Oh my goodness. Syria was thy merchant by reason of the multitude of the wares of thy making. They occupied the fairs with emeralds, purple, broidered work, fine linen, and coral, and agate. Then, to top it all, Judah. Send up Judah. I'm laughing at you, brother. All you got is to make fun of me. I'm showing you, I'm walking the dog. I'm not even going over here and over there. I'm just going down the roll call. Right? So we got Syria was thy merchant by reason of the multitude of wares and making. They occupied the fairs with emeralds, purple, broidered work, fine linen, coral, and gate. Judah and the land of Israel, they were thy merchants too. They traded in the market wheat, minneth, panag, and honey, and oil, and balm. Right. Boom. Matter of fact, during King Shlomo's day, he had a good big connection going. He was down there in the land of Edom, porting stuff out. While they had Edom in garrisons, had them all restricted. They couldn't move. They was down there looking like, let me at him, let me at him. They was like, let me at him, let me at him. They couldn't get out. He had them on lockdown, right? That's where Esau was. You say Esau was up in the Caucasus Mountain. Esau was sitting down there in the cut under King Dawid, and then King Shlomo had him on lockdown, right? It was Tyre that broke the brotherly covenant, right? Okay, I got to show you that before we close. All right. So now, You got Judah, Israel were thy merchants. They traded in the market wheat, Meneth, Panag, honey, oil, and balm. Damascus, was thy merchant in the multitude of wares, and making a multitude of riches in the wine of Helbon and white wool. Dan, wait a minute, Dan in there too?
Wait a minute.
Dan also in Yavon, going to and fro, occupied in thy fairs, bright iron, cassia, and camelus were in thy market. Dedan, wait a minute, Dedan.
Wait a minute.
Dedan was thy merchant and precious clothes and chariots, right? Arabia, wait one cotton picking minute, brother. Arabia too?
What you bringing to the table, brother?
Arabia was in there too? Arabia and all the princes of Kedar, they occupied with thee in lambs and rams and goats, and these were they thy merchants, right? We ain't done yet. I need to get a clip here. We ain't done yet. I ain't done yet. Okay. In Geno Jennings' voice. Okay. The merchants of Sheba, Rama, were thy merchants. They occupied in thy fairs with chief of all spices and with precious stones and gold. Haran, oh my goodness, we're not done yet, brother. We got more people. You talking about all the nations, man, we got a roll call here, brother. It sounds like to me that Revelation 18 is talking about whoever this city is here that have all transacted all this business, right, with these people, right? Haran, Canaan, Eden, merchants of Sheba, Asher, Kilmad were thy merchants. We ain't done yet. These were thy merchants in all sorts of things, in blue clothes, and embroidered work, in chests of rich apparel, bound with cords, and made cedar among the merchandise. The ships of Tarshish did sing of thee in thy market, and thou wast replenished and made very glorious in the midst of the seas. The rowers have brought thee to great waters. East wind have broken thee in the midst of the sea. The riches and the fairs, thy merchandise, thy mariners, thy pilots, thy caulkers, thy occupiers of thy merchandise, and all the men of war that are in thee, and in all thy company which is in the midst of thee, shall fall into the midst of the seas in the day of thy ruin. Suburbs shall shake at the sound of the cry of the pilots, and all, verse 29, that handle the oar, the mariners, and all the pilots of the sea shall come down from their ships. They shall stand upon the land, right? And shall cause their voices to be heard against thee, and shall cry bitterly, and shall cast up dust upon their heads. They shall wallow themselves in the ashes. They shall make themselves utterly bald for thee, gird them with sackcloth, and they shall weep for thee with bitterness of heart and bitterness of wailing. And in their wailing they shall take up a lamentation for thee, and lament over thee, saying, what city is like unto Tyrus? Like the destroyed in the midst of the sea. When their wares went forth out of the seas, thou fillest many people. Thou didst enrich the kings of the earth with the multitude of thy riches of thy merchandise in the time when thou shalt be broken by the seas in the depths of the waters by the merchandise, and all the companies in the midst of thee shall fall, and all the inhabitants of the isles shall be astonished at thee, and their kings shall be sore afraid, and they shall be troubled in their countenance, right? The merchants among the people shall hiss at thee, and thou shalt be a terror, and never shall be any more. Boom. There goes Revelation 18 right there. I rest my case.
Am I right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, so Tyre, right? That's the lamentation for Tyre. So now, all those sons And Revelation said all the nations have benefited from this great city. We just showed you right there. Now, what you going to do with it? You going to throw it out because it came from me? I'm not a part of your camp? Or you going to go back and study it and say, you know what? The old bottle must got something there, brother. The old bottle got something, brother. The bottle's full of new wine. Yeah. He's full of new wine, brother and sister. So look, I said I was gonna go to another verse. I can't remember which verse it was. I have to go back and look at the video. I will add that verse at the end or at the beginning of the next video. I can't remember what I said because I didn't write it and I'm taking note while I was there. And so with that said, I'm going to end this part. I'll be back. All right. Until the next time. Shalom, shalom, shalom.